And we are live. People haven't started joining us. We are going to wait a couple of more minutes. I mean, 1 or 2 more minutes to get started. Uh, more people are joining. Meanwhile, let me share this live session with the dev community from the Metis, and as well as feel free to share with your dev community so that they can take the advantage of learning this workshop. We are going to learn about RAG, which is which you can use in your current ongoing hackathon, and I mean it can basically use anywhere. Welcome everyone, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I know people are joining from different locations, and it will be somewhere morning, it will be somewhere afternoon. Mine is afternoon, yeah. Super excited to have all of you here with us today, and welcome all of you um, to our series of the workshop, which we usually do like every week on the same time, on the same day, mostly on the Thursday or on the Friday. My name is Nidhi Nakarani. I'm the developer from Metis, and um, we have our awesome co-host with me, Thiru. Welcome, Thiru. He's the developer from Metis as well, and we welcome all of you from both of welcome all of you. I'm seeing very good morning, good evening. Korea is 1 a.m. Oh my god. And you are joining from the Korea. I'm really happy by seeing this that people are joining. Like he's literally watching this workshop at the midnight. That's amazing. That's amazing. So we are going to see today the Telegram bot with RAG using Alith, and and we are going to talk about what is RAG and how you can implement RAG in your applications, and we can discuss that as well. If you have any questions regarding RAG while I'm explaining it, feel free to drop comments in the comment section, your questions specifically in the comment section, and let's make this one really engaging, because RAG is personally I feel most interacting thing or useful thing which you can use in your current projects, which if you are doing hackathon specifically, we have ongoing hackathon HyperHack on the Hyperion network of the Metis. Hyperion is the network for the AI applications. If I explain you in a very short term, then you can use this particular model, or whatever you say, the RAG in your application. So before we start, I would like to give mic to Thiru to to do this the introduction, and then we'll start our session.
Thanks for the intro, Nidhi. So, hello everyone. This is my first session at Metis. I've recently joined Metis as developer, and so here we are. So, this is our first session for HyperHack, so first dev session. We also have AMAs on Twitter very frequently. This is the first kickoff of the technical sessions. We will have every a week, and then like we also have like different workshops. So if you have any questions regarding building on Metis, building on Hyperion, this is your chance to ask, and then make this session as communication as possible. Like ask as much questions as you have. Like if you have like any doubts, it's your time to ask. Yeah. So and thank you, Nidhi. Uh, please take over and let's get this session started.
Yeah. So let's get started. So let me talk about Hyperion before we actually dive into the the RAG Telegram bot. Like we are going to see how we build this application, but let's see. So Hyperion is basically the modular L2 chain designed for mostly AI native applications, Web3 applications. So it's built with the idea that blockchain should not just be placed where things happen after the fact, right? So they should be fast. This should be fast, work seamlessly with off-chain and on-chain intelligence. So especially as AI becoming more integrated in how we build. So this is where on-chain AI, data agents, and real-time dApps come in. So Hyperion is built to support that vision. And why does that even matter, right? So the most blockchain today are not designed with AI in mind. So that's where this come. And we are having, I mean, the hyper hack is going on, which is the hackathon, global hackathon focused on building the next generation applications of AI, Web3 applications with AI built in. And there is 200K prize pool in total, and there is like three different tracks which is spread across the prize money is going to spread across. So track one is AI native dApps and on-chain AI agents. Track two is for real-time systems like D5 gaming at extras, and track three is for infrastructure, I mean infra and ecosystem tooling. So and why we are here, because this is going to really helpful if you are if you have already participated in this hackathon, and if not yet, the submission phase have been extended till 16th June, I guess, if I'm not wrong. I just got the information that uh, the phase have been extended till 16th June, instead of like previously it was June 2, right, Thiru?
Yep. So now it's up to 15. So
15th or 16th, yeah. So yeah, it has been extended. So make sure you submit your ideas, and I mean the submit the try participate in the hackathon. So and why this matter is that we have the bonus for the Alith integration track, where just using Alith can earn your team extra rewards. So whether you're building from I mean something user facing, infrastructure heavy, or like deep in protocol land, so that is a place for you to hear, right? So Phil, make sure you apply and you participate in this. And so this in this workshop, we are not just coding for fun. So we are building a real world things that can become a part of your hyperhack submission as well. How to integrate, we will be walking through this. So what is RAG and how to integrate RAG, and how does it work, and what are the use cases that you can uses in your hackathon as well, and how you can make it work with a Telegram bot, so your users or your testers can literally chat with your, I mean, your documentation, your documents, your dApp, your logic layer, right? So this approach is powerful for developer boards, for AI support agents, I mean for depth, I mean AI support agents for dApp, real-time AI gaming, on-chain agents, AI native infra tooling, right? So this is all about, and let me explain you in very simply in a simple way as much as possible, to get to let people know who is new with the RAG model, uh, that what is actually the RAG is. So because this is the core AI technique that is becoming super important nowadays, specifically for the agents working with real time on chain or documentation heavy workflows. For the documentation of heavy let me share the one of my Chrome tab. Let me share this one. Yeah. So, uh, You can go to this. Is this the Alith document one screen is visible, right? Thiru? Do you see the StreamYard screen, or do you see the Alith documentation screen? I think it's Thiru. Can you
Yep.
please confirm?
Yeah, so the screen is currently visible. Nidhi, you can carry forward.
Okay. You still see the Alith one, right? All right.
Yep,
All
exactly.
right. So basically, the RAG is stand for retrieval augmented generation. What does this mean? So instead of just asking an LLM like GPT-4 to answer your question from scratch, we first search a knowledge base like dog, smart contract ABIs, or change logs like etc. So then feed the most relevant part of that content as a context to the LLM. I hope that makes you understand. So this gives the model grounded understanding. Um, it's not hallucinating. It's answering from live, specific, up to date data. So you are combining the reasoning power of LLMs with the facts from your actual project, right? So that is the huge for Web3 because our data lies in smart contract, API forum, thread, et extra, right? So it constantly changing. So and we need accurate and contextual you say actual information when we are talking with AI, specifically when we have updated this RAG model into our AI agent, right? So that's where you need RAG model in your AI agent applications. And this is basically what RAG is, right? It retrieves we are going to see about the GitHub. So we are going to give the GitHub repository, and it will retrieve the GitHub data, that particular repository, and it will and divide that data into the chunks, and it will store into the one file on the one text file. And then when we ask related to as when we talk with the chat with the agent on the Telegram, it will give you the result from it will first go to that file. It will check if you have the relative and related information over there. It gonna check from their file, and it will not just give you copy pasting, like it will not just simply give you the chunks of data, particular chunk of from that file, and it will connect with your agent, connect in your response to the to your agent, right? But it will I will show you how it's actually answering your bot, right? So that's what we are going to see today. And before we jump to the live coding, do you have any questions, Thiru, for the RAG which can be useful for our devs?
Yeah. So I'll ask beginner questions from myself as well. So, what are the things that we can able to achieve with RAG that we cannot able to achieve using just ChatGPT or Anthropic API calls?
Yeah. So, basically, like, why do you need RAG model,
Right.
right? And not just ChatGPT. Like, we can do actually need this, right? And why we cannot just use chat gpt, to figure things out? So that's really the good question. So GPT is um, great at general reasoning, but sometimes it hallucinate, like it will make up APIs, error messages, or even whole coding files as well. So it's still trained on data that's like months or the years old, and that it does not know your edge cases, right? So your business rules, your DAO logic. So let me give an example. So let's say your proposal uses a really specific bonding curve, or staking model. So GPT might say you want 8% API because that's what it's seen before. But with RAG, it could say this taking pool gives you 12.5% API, which adjusts weekly based on DAO watts, right? So it's see tokenomics. I mean, if you have attached the tokenomics.md file for details in your repository or like anywhere in your documentation, then it's going to get that custom part from the documentation first. Or I mean not just the documentation. When I mention documentation, but it can be like anything from wherever you are retrieving the data first, right? So that's where the gpt that's where the RAG upgrades gpt from a generic assistant to a custom trained experts on your stack. Yeah. So that's why and how we use it, right? So let me get yeah. Okay, this is you, Thiru, commenting from the YouTube. I
Yeah,
think we got some comment in the YouTube. So let's get started and let me share my full screen to show you guys about to do the live coding. Just give me one moment. Meanwhile, feel free to drop your thoughts and where the uh, users or devs can use the RAG model in our Hyperion hackathon for, what can be the use cases for um, RAG model? Yeah, feel free to drop your thoughts. Meanwhile, I'll set up my screen and I'll quickly get the screen up. So this could be, really the good example, use case. I mean, the use not a use case, but you can really use this model if you are building um, applications. If you are using on-chain data, where you have to feed. You have to retrieve information from on-chain, from smart contracts. If you need to read APIs, then and from reading APIs, then you have to give the information to your user. It can be like really good use cases. So let me get quickly up running my screen. Just one more minute. All right, so let me get to the Metis ETU. Okay, so we have this. You can find this too, if possible. Can you share this this GitHub repository in the comment section so that they
yeah,
can.
sure,
Uh,
surely.
okay, so we have this file repository in. You can find it on the Metis GitHub repository. So it has explained like a little bit about the RAG, and you need, of course, Python, GitHub personal access token, Telegram bot token, which you can get it from Botfather, Open AI API key for GPT-4 to use GPT-4 model. Um, yeah, basic understanding of AI agents and vector search. But so, uh, I mean, in Alith documentation, uh, we have RAG with memory and RAG with vector database. So we in this model we are going to use RAG with vector database, and I'll show you which database we are going to use, but we are not going to do RAG with memory. So let's get started in the code actual, and I'll share what is the actual difference while setting up the thing in the live code. So okay, so what we're gonna do, we are going to copy, just paste. Okay, let me open terminal first. I hope screen is visible. Let me close this
Yeah,
out.
it is visible. Don't worry about it.
uh, all right, I think I have already made file from this code, and all right, let me get up the, I think it's enough, I mean enough big to visible. All right, and then we are going to activate the virtual environment for Python, for the usage of Python. And we are going to install Alith Python Telegram bot, LangChain community. And yeah, so we are going to use this vector database model to store our retrieved data. So let me just copy and paste it here. And okay, so while it's getting installed, RAG with vector is this is what we are actually doing in our Telegram bot, right? So how does it work? So it documents are split into chunks, and each chunks is turned into a vector using embeddings. The vectors are later stored in vector database. So like in this, we are using Milvus. So at query time, I mean when we give the prompts, that's how we do the query time, right? So at the query time, similar vectors are retrieved based on semantic similarity, and that's the most relevant chunks that are passed to the, I mean, that's what I mentioned, right? So when we ask the prompt, so the most relevant chunks will be the passed to the LLMs as additional context. So it's not going to just share you the I mean the content from the chunks data that we have retrieved from whatever our source, but it going to share the most relevant part of it to the as the additional context, right? So I mean efficient scaling, I mean this can hold like thousands dogs and keep responses grounded and accurate specifically. And RAG with memory is mostly like conversational memory. So this take things as a step further. So in addition to RAG, the system also remembers past interactions in the conversation. So how does this work? So it stores previous user queries and model responses, and may use short-term memory like last 3 5 tons or a long-term memory stored in vector database too. So each new message it retrieves relevant past interactions and relevant doc chunks. So then it feeds both into the prompt for more intelligent, for I mean for the more intelligent and for ongoing conversation, right? So why does that matters, right? So um, it enables context aware follow-ups, like can you explain, like if we give the prompts like can you explain that part again, so what if I use different chain, right? So in this kind of I mean the prompts, it adds coherence across longer sessions. Um, it it makes feels much more like taking to a human expert, right? So examples could be like onboarding agents, um, multi-step workflows like AI co-pilots, code assistants, customer supports, I mean, when user returns, return later with more questions, right? So that is the main, what do you say, main difference um, in RAG with memory and RAG using uh, vector database. So both retrieves the documents. RAG with vector database, it just does not remember the past chats, but with the memory it remembers the past chats. And suited for, the vector database is suited for search, document, docs, and FAQs, and the memory one is more useful for assistants, co-pilots, and complexity wise, if we see, then the vector database is, the medium level, and the memory one is the little higher. So yeah, we are going to use Milvus for our this code. So I think it has been installed. And for to set up this, I think I'll have to stop my screen sharing, and I will quickly set up the what I say, Telegram bot token. And so we need a GitHub access key. So we need GitHub access token key, as well as Telegram bot token and API key. So make sure you get all of these three. And once you have, it's just like you just copy, paste in this file. In your you can also create .env file and then export it. But I just for the testing purpose, I just export as the I just write export, and I hope the screen is export in the terminal. Yeah, key equal. Let me quickly set up it, because I didn't set it up because I wanted to show you guys from the scratch. So GitHub access token key is this. So what we're gonna do, we are going to retrieve the information from the Metis edu GitHub repository, and it will store the file into the chunks. And when we ask our bot about yeah, whatever about the Metis or the Alith, then we'll see how does it replies. So let me quickly get it
Nidhi,
done.
I think like you're not audible.
Oh, am I not audible now?
Yeah. Uh, Let me check.
Am I audible now? All right, so I have set up my screen. So I have just done it like export, because I'm not going to create the env file, but for more security purposes, you can create env file in your root directory and then load it just like this. So export GitHub access key equal to like this, and here your GitHub access key, whatever it is. All right. So after this, okay, so we have this Telegram ragboard.py file here. You can just copy. You can just copy it and create a new file here. Telegram bot rag, and you can copy paste it here. So in this file, we have imported some let's say packages and libraries. We are loading this GitHub access key and Telegram bot token, and this here we are using less AI Alith GitHub repo. And doc relative path is like website, source, and content. And we are logging here, and we created create vector store. So in this function, what is actually doing is that it will fetch the document from the GitHub first, and using this function GitHub file loader, it will first get the load the sorry get the GitHub file using the GitHub API. And it will store that all the things, whatever it has retrieved from this particular GitHub repository, and it will store into the chunks, and it will then store first it will convert into the chunks, and then it will store into this embedded chunks file. um, there is, I think, maximum cap. I just forget the number, that how many chunks it will store in this file. But it will create this file and it will store in the file. So, and this is the Alith agent that, and how do we connect it with the Alith agent? So, right, so we give the name model primable, your helpful assistant, from the Metis Alto ecosystem, on-chain references, and ecosystem. You and give on-chain references and explain concepts clearly. So yeah, primable is like most useful thing, and most important thing, that what you mentioned here, it will use that tone, it will use that that way to communicate with your agent, right? And to connect it with the RAG, the RAG model. So how we store? So we use store, and we use this as a vector store. This is the handle message, how to uh, to what I say, to respond to your bot. And this is the main function. All right, so let me get it run. Python telegram bot rag, and let's get check if we are going on to the right steps. All right, so we are just going to run this. Oh no, Python 3. Ah, I see. What I'm doing. Python. I think this is right now. All right. It happens when you have not eaten anything in your breakfast and you're doing live stream. You're under pressure. Things happen. All right. So here we can see that it's showing us that it's fetching doc from the GitHub, and separator is, this separator has been used. Um, this is like, we can just ignore it, and we got an error. Pagans, it's installed. Okay, let us install this. I think we miss installing this, and after installation it should show us something different output. So okay, so let me just delete it and rerun this by itself. Let's go to the Les AI GitHub first. I think so. This is what I say. It retrieves all the things from the GitHub, not just like this the README file. All right, so it will go to the SDK file and retrieve all the information. So in the embedded text, oh, still why? All right. So in embedded file, we see that we have chunk one, chunk two, and how many chunks has been stored? So 77 chunks has been stored from the GitHub repo, and it's like really. It's not just like one or two sentence. It stored, see the code as well, the source knowledge as well. So this is how it storing the data, but I'm not sure like why we are getting this error. Ah, I think here. Yeah. It should run. Meanwhile, let me open another one which was running yesterday. Let's see I think this one. All right. So my screen is visible. Yeah. Let me install
Yeah, it is
this.
visible, Nathan.
Uh, it should run this. Wait, what? Let me share my another screen of. Is it visible, right? Where is it? Ah, here. Here is visible. Clear Python 3. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me create another.
Not it needy. Uh,
Isn't it
so
visible?
it's still on the string yard.
Just it always happens in your live stream. Yeah.
First of all, the screen is not visible, and for some reason, I was unable to hear your audio. So I was actually running another screen, so I have like a delay, like between like what you say and then what I hear. So,
Let me give
so
my
the screen is
Google
not yet sharing.
Drive.
So you can try
Wait, wait,
sharing
wait,
now.
wait, wait, wait. Wait, wait, wait. Let me share my entire screen. This Mac.
Yeah. Now I can see the VS
Yeah.
Code.
You see it, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Send
I can see
this.
the terminal. Yeah. You're good too.
Yeah. So let me share where's terminal here. Uh this one. Okay. So in this, let me just install it one more time and run it. Ah, so what's happening here? I think this should run. GitHub repository. Uh, 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 Anyone would like to help me in this? I see it. I see it. Uh, export.
Uh, can you try running the one that was working previously?
Yeah, I'm just trying to run that. Export. This should run. Yeah, I have shared my access token, but yeah, I will definitely gonna delete it. Uh, the same error.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, you have to revoke it as soon as possible.
Basically, let me show you the Telegram chat from the bot father. That how does it actually reply? Because yeah, so let me show you the chat actually. Uh, it was on the um test bot. Yeah. So here you see. So when I was asking what is chain of thought, so after deploying it, all right. So how does it replying, right? So this is its what do I say? This is its answer, all right. So let me just store it somewhere in the test.txt file. Okay, all right. So when how does it reply? So when we do the chunks, I mean when it convert the chunks, and when I asked about what is chain of thought, what is, I mean, the basically the first chunk that it got stored in this embedded chunks.txt file. So I'll get this run up definitely in the next workshop. I don't know what's going wrong here, but how does this reply? So let's see its reply in the text as CSV files. Okay, so it replied like chain of thought is a technique that Alith and AI framework supports. So this method encourage AI agents to dive complex problems into intermediate reasoning step. So this is what we can see here as well, that Alith supports chain of thought, a technique that encourage agents to break down the complex problems into intermediate reasoning steps. This is like what I mentioned earlier as well, that it will not give you the exact things which is stored in the chunks file, but it will give you the relative it to enhance the more uh, response of the GPT model, right? And then later we see here that this improves the accuracy and interpretability of response, which is the next line in our in its response, that it enhanced both the accuracy and interpretability of responses, especially when it comes to tasks that requires multi-step reasoning, which is the next line we can see here, that especially for the task requiring multi-step reasoning. So this is what it had embedded, and later it will, I mean, respond you with the enhanced version of the GPT response. I mean, how the GPT responds it. So that's what I wanted to show you, that how does you integrate RAG in your Elite agent, and that's how you can store chunks file into the, you can use this in on-chain data to retrieve on-chain data from the smart contracts, where where when user ask about what part of this smart contract explain the smart contract code, right? So GPT might not explain in a right way, but using RAG, it will give your users, your audience, more clarifications and more enhanced version of the GPT-4 with the accurate and the actual data from what it will retrieve. So this is all from my end. Theo, do you have any questions, or do you see any questions in the comment? Because I was not able to um, see while I was on the live session. What is your prediction, Amaris, for the next house bull
We
run? Oh,
haven't
we
had
don't.
any technical
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. It's like more
So
about the
yeah, so
investment and all. Yeah,
uh,
but
like on the commands, but I have like a couple of questions. So the first thing is, could you show some light on the ideas that developers can build when using, say, like the rug memory model versus the rugs vector DB model? So I mean, different kind of ideas, and uh, so that's the first question, and I have a follow-up questions as well. So how these AI rug, so how these rugs can be used for the say games, or like different kind of applications, and
yeah,
so how much they can leverage using Alith. So
yeah. Let me answer your first question, and then I think you have to repeat the second question one more time for me. But let me get the first question. So your question is uh, to project ideas and use cases for both like RAG with vector and with the memory, right? Right. I think this is your question. Um, so RAG with vector database. So in this, imagine the project like on-chain developer documentation board. So use case can be like this, which help developers instantly querying protocol docs from GitHub space, speaks or readme files, etc. So RAG component in this here is like to index all the protocol SDK documentations, and use Telegram bot or a Discord bot for as a UI. And why is it useful in this use case? It reduces the time to find contract information or the SDK usage during during dev time. Um, on RAG with the vector, we can also have the proposal Q&A agent, DAO constitutions. So in this, let community members query the DAO's constitution and governance frameworks and past proposals. So how you can use here, uh, so using vector database, you can mark down. You can load the docs, such as like Markdown or a Notion exports or the governance docs, right? And it retrieves the relevant clauses and terms or the proposal outcomes, and that's how you can use this, because in the projects where it does not have to remember the past memories, you can use the RAG with vector. But where it needs to use the it needs to remember the past memories, such as like uh, AI dev copilot, like for your smart contract. So conversational assistant will help a dev to debug or a build contract over time, right? So that's where it needs might need to remember the previous what I say previous.
Nidhi, you're not audible now. You're not audible on for me on both
It
screens.
got when it got on mute. It's just now it just happened now, or it was, I mean, anyway. So yeah, in the AI agent governance, right? So AI agent that participate in governance where it reads, I mean, where it's read, I mean, summarize the what is it, the government ideas, the proposals, when it's reading the proposal, maintaining the history of opinions, the opinion history that it maintains. So RAG pulls from the proposal text and voting records, and where the memory parts help in here to track the past votes, to track the positions, and the reasoning. So that's where you can use like the different use cases of RAG. Um, I mean, in simpler terms, if I say RAG with vector database is mostly useful for retrieval, doc, technical accuracy, and with memory, mostly you can use for the co-pilots, for the multi-turn assistance. Yeah. What was your second question? Would you repeat one more time for me, please? Am I audible to you, Thiru?
So first thing, I'm sorry for the delay because
No
I'm
issue.
actually looking at the live stream itself.
Ah,
So
no
the
issue.
second question is like, so you have answered my second question already. So how these different models can be used on different type of applications like gaming or like uh, different AI applications. So you have already answered that. And something I might add is using RAG. I think for especially for gaming, like the story generation can be utilized. So there's like a lot of story based on-chain games where the story can be generated uniquely for the users using rugs, and then just be solely based on the users gameplay, how they play and then how they interact. So this could be something interesting. And in our classic track we also like have a gaming section, so users can utilize that to build games on hyperarc as well. And also as you mentioned, AI assistant is something very interesting, which can be very unique for individuals. So that is another very interesting applications of rags.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly. I mean that's a great question. So, as you mentioned, so with RAG, we are basically giving the model a dynamic memory, right? Not just a fixed context, but a way to pull in right external knowledge on demand, right? So now, in this particular use case, so when we think of gaming, especially in the context of on-chain or real-time Web3 games. Um, right? So you have got some super cool use case in specifically the gaming. So story-based game with RAG, right? So imagine decentralized RPG games where the player's backstory, choices, and I mean, lore, right? So are not hard coded, but evolve based on dynamic RAG inputs. So you feed the AI lore chunks stored in the vector database. Then as the player make decision, the AI retrieves the relevant plot branches and build dialogue, or I mean the mission on the fly, right? So this means every player gets a personalized game narrative. So RAG plus memory here acts like master. But on chain, right? And real time RAG in gaming agents, like in a competitive some of the games, like a card game or a strategy arena. So like there, the AI could retrieve game meta, tactics or opponents profiles, right? And use this to guide the next move, uh, as well as to teach the player and build the history, not the history, but what is it? The tutorial, right? So dynamically, that's how RAG can be used in the gaming part uh, too. love the, gaming history there. Don't forget to use the general knowledge base updated daily in a single file for agent knowledge from. Yeah, thanks, Mart, for mentioning this. All right, so I think it's time to wrap this up. Uh, I don't see any more questions in the comment section and also from the theory side. So we will wrap the session up here, and I'll make sure that I'll show you very quickly on the next workshop that how this was running, because we are going to see maybe something related to the advanced level of the RAG. Maybe we will use the RAG with memory on the next workshop. So this is going to be more interesting, and I'll make sure that things are running now. It always happens on the live stream, by the way. But anyway, thanks all of you to join for the session, and I hope that you learn more about the RAG. It was a very basic session, as we were firstly talking about the RAG, but for the next one, we are going to have a little more in advanced level. So till then, all of you, thanks much for joining. Thanks, Thiru, for joining us. And our one more time mentioning that our hyper hack proposal ideathon phase has been extended till 15th or 16th June, I guess. And make sure you participate in this hackathon, and see you on the next workshop. Till then, bye everyone. Take care. Bye, Thiru.